Mark's with us in Fort Lauderdale. Hey, Mark, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
If you're fiscally responsible, why are you so against using credit cards?
What would be wrong with using a debit card?
Well,
if you're fiscally responsible.
I travel a lot.
So do I.
And credit cards make it easier. I know that you can do rental cars and hotels without credit cards.
Mm-hmm. You can do them with a debit card.
I feel that credit cards are safer than debit cards.
Why do you feel that way?
Because I'm only responsible for $50 on a credit card if somebody.
That's not true. If somebody steals your credit card number and uses it fraudulently, you're responsible for zero.
Even better.
Yeah. And guess what you're responsible for on your debit card if they steal it and use it? Zero.
But then you have to fight with them to get it back.
No, you just call your bank, and they call your bank, and they put the money back, and then they go through the dispute procedure to see that it was a fraudulent use. By the way, you have to go through a dispute procedure to see that it was a fraudulent use as well with your credit card, and if they rule against you in either case, you've lost the money. But if it was a legitimate fraud, that sounds backwards, but if it was really a fraud, in neither case do you lose money. That's the facts.
Well, if they're pretty much the same then, and you pay them off monthly, what do you have against them?
100% of the debit cards do not have debt on them. And most people do not pay off their credit cards. Like 58 million people last month did not pay theirs off, just to kind of give you an idea. And I know you said fiscally responsible, but here's the thing. Why are we playing with snakes? What's the point? Why are we playing with something that might hurt us when the other tool works just as well?
Well, I do use some of the advantages from credit cards.
What are they?
Like the Hyatt card gives you two free nights a year in a hotel room. Mm-hmm. And yes, it does cost $75 a year, but $35 a night in a Hyatt in Boston is way more than $35 a night. Mm-hmm. But I'm not saying that's all the advantages, but I do use those advantages.
And what do you make a year?
Just under $200,000.
And we're having a discussion about $200.
Well,
this is your motivator? I mean, really, it's not logical.
But I mean, I pay off my credit cards monthly.
I know. You don't have to worry about that if it's a debit card because you had to have the money before you bought it. So that's why I'm against it. You asked. I have a feeling this far into the conversation, I'm probably not going to talk you into it, and that's fine because I don't think you're going to go bankrupt because of it, Mark. But here's the thing. I just decided a long time ago I'm not going to play with snakes because they bite. I work with credit card companies, and our firm does every day, and I know what scum they are, and I know what problems they present, and I know what all the crap that comes around when stuff doesn't get paid, and the billing cycles that they change, and they move something by 4 days on when they decide to post your check so they can back charge you through the whole month for the interest, and then you got to go fight with them over all of that. All of this so you can get a $35 hotel room when you make $200,000 a year, and you pay it off anyway, so you should have been using a debit card to start with. On top of all of that, I use cash for a lot of things because there's tons of studies that show that when you actually spend cash, you spend 12 to 18% less than you do when using plastic. Now, the debit card falls prey to that problem as well because you don't emotionally feel the pain centers of the brain aren't activated when you spend with plastic. I experienced this, Mark, as an example. We were on property with Disney a while back. Wonderful vacation with the kids, and they turn your room key into your debit card for the week. And so you can walk around with your room key, and
Right.
it all charges
Right.
back to the room. And I teach this crap for a living, and I catch myself buying $18 ice cream cones and not thinking anything about it. And I'm going, crud, man! I just financed my kid's college education with an ice cream cone here. And so it's just you don't register the pain. Vending machines. You travel like I do. Have you noticed all the vending machines now take credit cards? 178% increase in sales when they take plastic over cash, because people don't feel the pain with cash or with the plastic that they do when they use cash. So all of that weaves into this money thing is a behavior thing. It's not just a transaction. And so you've got to manage your behaviors in such a way that it leads you to be wealthy. Now, Mark, you make $200,000 a year. I truly believe you when you say you're fiscally responsible and pay your card off every month. So I am not suggesting you're going to go bankrupt. I am suggesting you're playing around with the edges of something, and really you're majoring in minors to get a few dollars back here or there, and you're losing the argument. So, I mean, if you want to do it, it's okay. I'm not going to be mad at you. You and I'll still be friends. It's okay. But my suggestion is not. I don't have a credit card. And I travel as much or maybe more than you do, Mark. And so I do all the stuff you do. And debit card, I really don't run into problems with my debit card. It does everything I need it to do. And I don't run into a bunch of fraudulent transactions. I don't run into big hassles or anything else, and so forth. But I use a lot of cash, too. Even on the road, I use cash. And because it keeps me in check. And, again, I'm the guy that teaches this stuff. And so if anybody's not susceptible to it, since I have the intellectual knowledge of this stuff, it would be me. But even I know that I'm going to fall for this crap that is their world and is their business. I am almost positive, Mark, and it's one of my missions, as a matter of fact, that we're going to look back 20 years from now, and we're going to say the credit card was the cigarette of the financial world. When we were kids, it was cool, and everybody smoked them on the movies and everything else. Now, if you smoke, everybody kind of looks at you like you're an idiot. And pretty much you're treated that way everywhere you go. And that's where the credit card's going to end up, because it's going to be so discredited, no pun intended, as a viable tool. Again, you make enough money, you're in good shape, you're a disciplined guy, it's not going to kill you. But you ask why I am against it, that's why. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.